Worlds of work.
Yeah.
So Julie, you're going to talk to us about worlds of work and potential.
Right, so that's your green handout. And you'll notice on one side graphics sort of representing different sectors and different areas that employ a lot of people. And then if you flip it over, you'll see, I mean, when this was sent around, I have to admit, I had a hard time not editing it, but just having an overview sense because it's limitless. I mean, if you take the example of a medical officer, whether it's a doctor or a nurse or whatever, they could be working in a not-for-profit like Doctors Without Borders, or they could be working for the federal government in a hospital, they could be in a private clinic, they could be volunteering, after they're retired or whatever. And then if you look at the list, like for a writer and editor, well, you could be that in any job. You could be a stockbroker, you could be an investment banker, or you could be a teacher. And you're going to have some of that is going to be part of your job. So I think this links back to the assessment to see what your strengths are and how you can plug that in. And I'm going to dip over to the blue sheet for just a second. Like if you go to the Canada Job Bank, like federal jobs, or if you go to BC Postings, I think it's called, if you go to these places, I mean, you'll see that there's thousands of jobs listed. And it can be anything from an electrician to an engineer to a senior management professional. So I think the world of work is limitless. And I think it also comes back to public versus private. I think too that the private sector is changing. I think that there's a lot of the idea of corporate social responsibility has come a long way. And so if you think that you're an environmental management professional and you can't work for a mining company, well, actually you can, because they have a huge section. Or you're a sustainability expert and you don't want to work for BC Hydro because you think dams are bad. Well, they actually have a whole program on corporate social responsibility and how to apply some of the skills that you've learned. Or whether you're a landscape architect, it's just limitless. So I think when you're looking at job ads, you might see skills listed or experience listed, and it might be like, oh, I don't have that. Well, again, coming back to what we were talking about earlier, you actually do from other facets of your life. Mm-hmm. So I encourage you to look at employers that you may not look at, like even HSBC here in town. If you wanted to work on the not-for-profit side, there's tons of it. There's tons of jobs available. And of course, if you were a natural, if you were the MBA that wanted to go and I'm going to just go right to the top of the VP, well, then that opportunity is there too. But I think that when you start off, come to it with a more open mind, and I think you'll be successful. There's lots of stuff to do.